Good morning, ladies. My name is Chess, and welcome to the What If Zuko Was the Zorby Man? The movie. So, in this What If, I'm making Zuko, or like Zorby Man version of Zuko, my character, way overpowered than the non-sponsored earned version. So, Zorby Man. So, yeah. And he, in this version, is quite literally different from, like, the others. So, let's begin. And before we begin, I am adding a quirk that similar to Rimuru Tempest called Gluttony, so that he can, it's actually his limit, but his real power is like Zorby Man. When he zorbs like the entire infinity and zero at the same time. Yeah. That's how powerful this version of Zuko is. So, let's begin. And I'm also throwing in his Zumi for a heck, why not? So, they were like, okay. Now, age of 4, they went to a quirk doctor. They looked at Zumi and says, you have fire manipulation, but your brother's quirk is gluttony. As it doesn't hurt him, but if he doesn't eat, he'll die. Yeah. So that's the only thing. So, yeah. So Inko and Sashi were like, okay. And of course, they wanted and to have a kid that has their combined quirk thing. So they mostly spend time with Zumi. But Zuko, they don't pay attention to him. It's like they're off. So, yeah. So, he decides, okay. And there was this, or some random kid was running away from Bakugo, but he was gonna end up getting hit by a car. But then when Zuko went and saved his life, or saved that kid's life, and he literally ate the truck with that same power, and like he absorbed it into his own body. As Bakugo, his friends were terrified. They couldn't believe that some random kid just randomly has that power. Because this is it was the military car or truck that he ate. It had a nuclear bomb on it. But when Izuku ate the entire thing, he breathed out like, whew, that was a sugar rush right there. As he says, are you doing okay, kid? As the kid looks at him, a little bit like shocked that this kid's power, or this kid's quirk is. So he asks, I'm doing fine, but what power is that? As Zuko says, that's gluttony. It allows me to, like, eat and become it. So, yeah. When he ate the truck part, yeah. So, after that incident, they went, and Inko and Musashi were not even paying attention to Zuko, because he's different from them. So he says, okay. And yeah, so they decide to they decide to, like, okay, and Zuko is going to UA with Zumi too. So Zumi and Inko and Musashi never saw his power firsthand. So he was battling against the robots. And he used the same power. He literally ate the 1-pointers, 2-pointers, and 3-pointers. And yeah, most of them are like, dang, how much do you eat? Huh. And then when the 0-pointer came, and he did say Oraka, when he then, so he says, okay, he used that and ate the entire 0-pointer, like broke it down and then ate it. As everyone that saw his power is like, geez, that man's quirk is powerful enough. So, as they see part of his arm, the one that's up, transformed into that 0-pointer's robot's arm. And yes, as this, when everyone saw it, Nezu says, okay, this kid's quirk is pretty powerful. It's as Nezu asked Eraserhead if what do you think? As Eraserhead says, well, his thing says gluttony as his quirk. As he says, interesting. The gluttony of his quirk is powerful enough to swallow a robot whole. Imagine him using it on a villain. Yeah. So, yeah. Then Zumi was the same thing when she saw her brother's power of his quirk. She starts giggling, like maniacally, like giggling. Like she couldn't believe that her own brother took care of all the robots and ate the entire city with just one quirk. So, yeah. When they got home, Inko says, how was it, Zumi? They absolutely, ignored Zuko. Who? As he says, or as she says, good. But man, my brother's power is real on the next level stuff. As really, like what? As Zumi told them that when during the quirk exam thing, he immediately turned into a black hole and swallowed the entire exam area. And the 1-pointers, 2-pointers, 3-pointers. And it looked like a black hole that was ready. So the next day, he actually did break a world record, or should I say, he ate the world record. So, I'm skipping the ball throw and the heroes versus villains. Okay? If you guys don't like that idea, tell me in the comments. If I do a reboot of it, I'll make sure to include it in the video. But that will take super long. So, yeah. So then, yeah. And Zuko can do it far away or up close. So, now at the USJ, thing. Sorry. Okay. So they get on a bus and they he ate like a chicken grilled sandwich. And yeah, he shares. And yeah, when they got to there and they went in and they got ambushed by those, and for some reason when the Kirigiri was teleported right behind them, Zuko was right behind the warp guy as he literally grabs them, like that warp guy's like back plate, and use gluttony as he gets like he actually copied Kirigiri's warp gate thing. So yeah, and yeah. So when he gets to, or what makes his gluttony different from Remuru's, from far away he could eat the entire thing, but up close he can copy the quirk by just touching it. Or actually, he copies a quirk and the user's memories and skills. So, yeah. But he also has zero in that forgot to mention. Zero is like same thing as gluttony, but it's his power that he can fill the his own body with. It's like a forge to create new powers for himself. So, yeah. Sorry. And yeah. So when they all got warped to like what they were in canon, then Zuko's is like, was like, okay, gluttony. That might be weak. As how will we go over to the others? As a portal opens up and Zuko, Zumi, purple kid, him, the on the bottom, not, or grapefruit guy, and Frog Girl fell in. And this portal wasn't like Kirigiri's. So he basically teleported to, as they landed, and right after where they first got teleported to, as he gets up like, ow, that flippin' hurt. I don't. As As Zumi and the rest of them are like asking him, how did you do that? I really don't remember. As he how I did it. So he still keeps those powers. So he tries to think. Well, we need to think about. So he says, I really want them to be at UA. As a portal opens up for each student, and they got teleported back to UA, except for Zuko, including the teachers of Mr. Aizawa and 13. So Mr. Aizawa and 13 got teleported to there, so him and the Nomu are going toe-to-toe with each other. But when he touched the Nomu's skin, man, he gained the same powers as the Nomu. So basically, like, this is kind of weird. As he goes, uppercuts the Nomu, and like, he literally rips the Nomu's brain out, and he goes, runs up past everybody, and goes right to Shiraki-sen, grabs one of or both of his hands without having to touch all 5 fingers. And yeah, when he did that, he absorbed, or like he literally copied Shiraki-sen's. So yeah. Sorry. So as all of them are like wondering, where the heck did he teleport us? Or we're back at school, so that's good. But wait. Hey, where's Zuko? So Zuko was basically, he used his own version of Shiraki-sen's decay quirk. And let me remind you, his copy quirk, or his gluttony, he can awaken the quirks that are copied. So, if it's a copied quirk, it would be a awakened quirk. So, he does that, and he destroys the entire USJ without any hesitation. So Shiraki-sen, and he also used Warpgate too. So yeah. So then, now I'm skipping that. I'm skipping the sports festival. Kazuku was the last person. And he says, I'll be there. And right back. As he teleports right where Stain was. Like, he says, you must be boring, aren't you? Your fake heroes only want money, but real heroes like myself, as he warps, and like he literally warps Hero Killer Stain and himself to the prison. It was so secret to him that even the like people didn't even notice, except for the detective and chief of police. And then the reporters came and they tried to do the interview with Zuko Midoriya. Like, how did you like become a? As he's getting overwhelmed, as he says, "Huh." Oh, as he teleports away, as they so yeah, that's what happened. And so now they came apart, Hank, and so he basically, and during the after ESJ thing, Eraserhead was like, or he got sent to Nezu and like he says, "You know why you're here?" As he says, "Yeah, because of a punishment thing." Yes. Okay. I'll accept any punishment. Okay. You'll be banned for 1 week. Okay. Write the apology letter. Okay. And about Nezu, when I was at USJ, when I zorbed, or when I copied that those two villains, I saw a man with a black mask standing right in front of me. Yeah. As Nezu says, "Okay, what does that mean?" As then it dawns on him. Go on. Because he's more interested in Zuko's like his copy ability. So he says, "Well, he was talking to me, but he didn't use my name. He used Shiraki-san's name. Name like Shiraki-san. And you need to be more like of your as then the image flicked on me. Then I who was Karagiri. I'm reconsidering a new apprentice or new like okay. As Nezu is quite intrigued if he can and use, or if he copies a person's memories, then he'll, and he says, okay, as as he, as Nezir says, who's this black man, or black suit, black mask guy? As he says, it is all for one. That's what the name in my, or that copied in. As Nezu finds this interesting, that some random kid just randomly, as, yeah, he told him that he'll cut down on the, like, it would be only for 2 days. So, yeah. So then, for those 2 days, his mother and his father didn't do nothing with him for 2 days. They didn't help him, but he sure does help himself. So, to train. But then his body feels weird. After 2 days of him training himself, then the very next day, or way after that, he transformed, or no, just kidding. I was gonna say he transformed, but then I was like, nah, not yet. So now the camper, they all for one, or no, at the villain's base during the same time, all for one says, Zuko might be good. So, yeah. So then, Nezir was talking to Almain about a certain man, all for one. But so Almain is like, okay. So yeah. Then now the camp park, Zuko gets kidnapped, and now it's battle between him and him, but All Might was down but not out. Then All for One says goodbye, as let's say he used a Omega laser or Infinity laser that could kill anyone with a one hit. But Zuko's body, all of it, he remembers because he actually used gluttony on all those villains. So his body transformed into that. And like, he did save All Might as he like, instead of like talking like himself, he talks like, I hope that you're ready for it. All for one. You who aren't, you are weak. So, yeah. Then, All for One says that's impossible. But how did you... Of course, he remembers that gluttony can absorb anything. So, he says, I want your quirk. As he used all steel quirk, the like... So Zuko, or they still has those powers, but he was pretending to be like dead. But he says, did you really think that would work on me? As he says, I'm the embodiment of chaos and all that stuff. So he, as All for One says, that's impossible. Your quirk is now mine, but it seems like you have multiple quirks. As Zuko says, no, it's not quirks. That quirk that you stole was my limit quirk. So now this is my true form. As he went all out, he wasn't holding back. They all see him using his full power. And yeah, everybody is afraid of his power. So he did absorb the entire buildings, and like he smacks All for One, like brutally killing All for One off. Like, you could see his regeneration was slow, but and his mortality got ripped out. As his says, looks like someone doesn't want to live anymore. As they're shocked, because as Inko Sashi saw their own son murder the symbol of evil. With that much power at his disposal, it can So yeah, he says that way. for quite a while. So they're like, huh, this must be your true power. And who's the one that says that? Is Redhead. Or actually, at there, All Might says this. You must have all that power at your power. Young Midoriya. Huh. As he turns around and he says, huh, yeah. And I have this bottled up hatred for not having what my sister or my parents' works. So, yeah. And, yeah. They are now, they went from, like before, they didn't like care, to right now, they do who care now. They couldn't believe that their own son actually he had the power, and he went to finishing off All for One. He used his own fire manipulation as his powers. So, yeah. That's what happened. And, yeah. So I'm skipping the ball throw or dodgeball and overhaul fight thing because when all the villains saw his Zuku's power thing, they went or crime rate went down to about nothing, zero, zilch, because they know that they don't want him to find them. So Tenya had more interested in Zuko. Like he asked him a bunch of questions of, or like they all asked him, like Class A, Class B, of how did he do that without? Yeah. So that was manly. So yeah. So then the monster that looks like, or actually, so this is the end of the video, and please leave a like, share, subscribe. Peace.